Who really is Muse in Marvel's universe? Hey there, Marvel fans! Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the vast universe of superheroes and villains. Today, we're shedding light on one of Marvel's most mysterious and chilling characters, Muse. Have you ever wondered what happens when art and menace intertwine? Muse isn't your typical villain seeking world domination or revenge. He's an enigma, a dark artist, who uses the city as his canvas and crime scenes as his palette. If you're intrigued by characters that blur the lines between genius and madness, then you're in for a treat. In this video, we'll unravel the secrets behind Muse's origin, his eerie masterpieces, and his clashes with heroes like Daredevil and Blindspot. The birth of a villain, Muse's creation and background. First things first, who is Muse? Introduced in 2016 during Charles Soule's run on the Daredevil comics, Muse quickly became one of the most unsettling figures in Marvel lore. Unlike many characters, his real name and past remain a mystery, adding to his ominous presence. Muse is a psychopathic artist with a twisted vision. He doesn't see himself as a villain, but as a creator, using unconventional and horrifying mediums to express his art. We're talking about large-scale installations that often involve the victims of his crimes. Yep, you heard that right. Muse turns his gruesome deeds into what he considers profound artistic statements. He operates in the shadows of New York City, leaving behind a trail of macabre artworks that baffle authorities and heroes alike. His anonymity and lack of a clear backstory make him even more terrifying. Without a known identity, motive, or origin, Muse embodies the fear of the unknown. His character challenges traditional villain archetypes. He's not driven by money, power, or revenge, but by an insatiable urge to create and be heard. This makes him unpredictable and exceedingly dangerous, as his goals don't align with any rational or negotiable demands. First brushstrokes, Muse's debut in Marvel Comics. Muse made his eerie entrance in Daredevil Volume 5, number 11. From the get-go, he left readers and characters alike unsettled with his disturbing art pieces popping up around the city. These weren't ordinary graffiti or street art. They were elaborate, haunting displays that often featured missing persons and even inhumans. Imagine walking down a street and stumbling upon a mural made from, well, let's just say unconventional materials. His art not only shocked the public, but also sent a clear message to the heroes trying to protect the city. Muse was making his mark, and he wanted everyone to see it, even if they didn't understand it. His debut set the tone for his character, a silent provocateur challenging societal norms through heinous acts disguised as art. It immediately put him on the radar of Daredevil, who realized that this was no ordinary criminal. Muse's first appearance wasn't just an introduction, it was a chilling statement of intent. The mind behind the mask, Muse's identity and motivations. Muse's identity is as blank as the white mask he wears. This featureless facade is symbolic. It represents his desire to be a conduit for art rather than an individual seeking fame or recognition. But what makes him tick? At his core, Muse is obsessed with the idea of pure, unfiltered artistic expression. He believes that art has become commercialized and constrained by societal rules. To him, true art requires pushing boundaries no matter the cost. He sees himself as a revolutionary, challenging the world to open its eyes to his masterpieces. Muse's motivations are not rooted in malice, but in a warped sense of purpose. He doesn't kill out of hatred, he does it because he thinks it's necessary for his art. It's a chilling justification that makes him all the more dangerous. Furthermore, his anonymity strips away any personal bias or vendetta. He's not out for revenge or personal gain. This lack of personal attachment allows him to operate without hesitation or remorse. He becomes a force of nature, embodying the concept of art for art's sake taken to a horrifying extreme. His interactions often reveal a deep philosophical side. He poses questions about the nature of beauty, the role of the artist, and the lengths one should go to for their craft. These musings aren't just reflect a deeply ingrained belief system that fuels his actions. In essence, Muse is a mirror reflecting the darkest possibilities of unchecked creativity. He's a cautionary tale of what happens when passion overrides morality. Artistic anarchy, powers and abilities of Muse. Now let's talk about what makes Muse such a formidable foe. While he's human, he possesses abilities that set him apart. Muse has exhibited superhuman stamina and agility. He's incredibly nimble, able to move swiftly and silently through the urban landscape. This makes him exceptionally good at evading capture and setting up his elaborate art pieces unnoticed. One of his most frightening abilities is his regenerative healing factor. Muse can recover from injuries that would incapacitate or even kill a normal person. This resilience allows him to take risks and survive situations that others couldn't. He's also highly intelligent and resourceful. Muse is a master planner, orchestrating complex scenarios to create his art while eluding superheroes and law enforcement. His intellect isn't just book smarts, it's a cunning street savvy that keeps him one step ahead. Muse's artistic talent is of course central to his character. He creates large-scale, impactful works that are as mesmerizing as they are horrifying. His ability to manipulate materials, often in gruesome ways, showcases a creative genius twisted by his dark vision. Combined, these attributes make Muse a unique and dangerous adversary. He's not just physically challenging, but mentally taxing for those who try to stop him. Canvas of Chaos, major story arcs featuring Muse. Let's delve into the key story arcs where Muse leaves his mark, quite literally. In his first major storyline, Muse embarks on a horrifying killing spree across New York City. He kidnaps individuals, including several Inhumans, and uses them as materials for his art. These installations spark panic and outrage, drawing the attention of both the public and superheroes. Muse views these acts as necessary to shake society awake from its complacency. Conflict with Daredevil. Daredevil, the man without fear, becomes deeply involved when Muse's actions threaten the city he loves. Their confrontations are intense and layered. In one encounter, Muse traps Daredevil in a building rigged with his deadly artworks. Here, he tries to make Daredevil understand his perspective, challenging his notions of justice and morality. It's a battle not just of fists, but of philosophies. Daredevil struggles to anticipate Muse's next moves because they're not driven by typical criminal logic. This unpredictability forces Daredevil to push beyond his limits, both physically and mentally. Their clashes are some of the most psychologically intense in Daredevil's history. Blindspot's ordeal. Muse's most heinous act is arguably what he does to Blindspot, Daredevil's protege. Seeing potential in Blindspot, Muse becomes fixated on him. In a gruesome turn of events, Muse blinds Blindspot by gouging out his eyes. This act isn't just physical mutilation. It's a twisted form of art meant to elevate Blindspot to a new level of perception. The trauma profoundly affects Blindspot, leading to struggles with identity and purpose. It also drives a wedge of guilt and desperation into Daredevil, who feels responsible for his young ally's fate. This storyline adds emotional weight and showcases Muse's impact beyond mere physical harm. These arcs highlight Muse's role as more than just a villain to be defeated. He's a catalyst for character development and thematic exploration, making his presence profoundly felt. Brush with heroes, interactions with Marvel characters. While Muse primarily clashes with Daredevil and Blindspot, his influence ripples across the Marvel Universe. Rivalry with Daredevil. Daredevil and Muse represent two sides of a coin. Daredevil fights for justice and order, adhering to a moral code despite operating outside the law. Muse, on the other hand, seeks to upend order in pursuit of unfettered expression. Their battles are as much about ideology as they are about physical combat. In confronting Muse, Daredevil is forced to question the effectiveness and ethics of his own methods. Is he any different from Muse in the eyes of the law? These encounters add depth to Daredevil's character, pushing him to grapple with moral ambiguities. Impact on Blindspot. Muse's torment of Blindspot is a turning point. Blinded and traumatized, Blindspot has to rebuild his life and sense of self. This event tests his resilience and commitment to being a hero. It also strains his relationship with Daredevil, as feelings of anger and betrayal surface. Muse's actions force other heroes to take notice. Even if they don't interact with him directly, the consequences of his deeds affect the broader vigilante community. He becomes a reminder of the perils they face, not just physically but psychologically. Overall, Muse's interactions serve to deepen narratives and challenge characters to evolve. He isn't just a villain to be punched away, but a complex adversary who leaves lasting scars. Themes and symbolism. The art of crime. Muse is a character rich in symbolism and thematic depth. He embodies the concept of art pushed beyond ethical boundaries. One major theme is the price of expression. Muse believes that true art requires sacrifice, challenging the idea of whether ends justify means. His actions force characters and readers to confront uncomfortable questions about morality and the role of art in society. Another theme is anonymity and identity. Muse's blank mask symbolizes how he removes personal ego from his work, becoming a vessel for his artistic vision. This contrasts with heroes like Daredevil, whose identities are deeply tied to their sense of purpose. Muse also critiques societal norms. Through his shocking artworks, he aims to shake people out of complacency. It's a dark reflection on how society consumes media and the desensitization to violence. These themes elevate Muse from a mere villain to a commentary on larger issues. They make his stories resonate on a deeper level, inviting analysis and discussion. Behind the scenes, the creation by the writers and artists. Muse was crafted by writer Charles Soule and artist Ron Garney. Soule, known for his legal expertise, injected ethical dilemmas into the narrative. He wanted a villain that could challenge Daredevil intellectually and morally. Garney's artwork brought Muse to life in a haunting way. His use of dark tones and stark contrasts accentuated the eerie atmosphere surrounding Muse. The visual portrayal was crucial in conveying the unsettling nature of the character. Together, they aimed to create a villain who was not just a physical threat but a psychological one. Muse's design, with his blank mask and unsettling demeanor, was meant to leave a lasting impression. Their collaboration resulted in a character that stood out in the Marvel roster. The ripple effect? Muse's impact on the Marvel Universe. Muse's actions have far-reaching consequences. He doesn't just affect those he directly encounters, but also influences the broader narrative. For Daredevil, Muse represents one of his most challenging foes, pushing him to question his methods and beliefs. For Blindspot, Muse is the catalyst for a profound personal transformation. Muse also sets a precedent for the kinds of threats heroes might face. He shows that villains can be unpredictable, operating outside conventional motives. This adds a new layer of complexity to the Marvel Universe, where heroes must be prepared for anything. His unique brand of chaos forces the community to consider the psychological impacts of their work. It's not just about stopping the bad guy, but dealing with the aftermath of their actions. Shadows of the future, speculations on Muse's return. Will Muse return? Many fans hope so, intrigued by the possibilities his character holds. Speculations abound that Muse might resurface with even more elaborate and terrifying art. Perhaps he'll set his sights on new heroes, pushing the envelope further. There's also curiosity about his backstory. Unveiling his origins could add new dimensions, perhaps explaining what led him down this dark path. Muse's return could also explore the long-term effects on Daredevil and Blindspot. How have they healed, or not, from their encounters? Whatever the case, Muse's potential comeback is an exciting prospect, promising more thought-provoking and thrilling narratives. The lasting impression of Muse. So there you have it. The enigmatic Muse unmasked. From his mysterious origins to his chilling artworks, Muse stands out as a villain who is as thought-provoking as he is terrifying. He challenges our heroes not just physically but morally and philosophically. His presence forces characters and readers alike to grapple with complex themes about art, ethics, and the human psyche. Muse reminds us that the Marvel Universe isn't just about epic battles and saving the day. It's also about exploring deep questions and pushing the boundaries of storytelling. What do you think about Muse? Is he a fascinating artist, a horrifying villain, or both? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the Marvel Universe. Thanks for watching, and until next time,